Good morning, welcome. Today I am heading up Latrigg. The idea being is to get a nice composite. Stars, clouds, light, should be pretty good. Unfortunately though, came outside and there is lots of clouds. Bit of a nightmare, but Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I know it's been a while since I've made one of these, but I am going to be making more now. Got some exciting news, I'll tell you later. But yeah, hello again. So I have found my location for the morning. I'm going to get set up. As you can see, light is coming, light is arriving. What I've got for this composition is I've got some really nice yellowy browny grass. I'm going to use that to guide your eye in. That's going to be my foreground. And then as you can probably see just behind me, I've got Keswick, and then I've got all the mountains and just the perfect amount of snow. You don't want too much snow in a scene because then it just gets a bit cold, it gets a bit dark, and it gets a bit moody, dramatic. But I've got just enough light, so as the sun comes up over the top, what's going to happen is it's going to light up all that snow and it's going to turn it a nice golden brown, reddy colour. The mountains are going to stand off lovely against that. And my idea is I'm going to do a 3-shot composition, one in blue hour, one with the clouds starting to light up, and one with the lights, the mountains starting to light up. And then I'm going to composite that together. So I'm going to have the lights turned on in the foreground, I'm going to have the mountains hitting the light, and then I'm going to have the clouds getting that first nice red colour. So it should be a pretty exciting, interesting shot. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get my camera all set up and I'm going to get my first shot done before the lights in the town disappear. And I'll talk you through that once it's ready. So I've got my camera set up now on its tripod. My idea being what I'm going to do a vertical composition. I'm going to shoot down towards the ground, get the foreground, and then I'm going to do, a vertical panoramic. So I'm going to get the town now. I'm going to move my camera up, ready for the mountains in the sky, and then later on when it starts to get a little bit lighter and the town does start to get a bit more lit up, I'm going to take another exposure of the foreground and the town. To do this, I've got a little technique, and what I do is I put it onto live view and then I zoom into the image, I get the town, and then I manually focus on that town. So I know where I want it to be sharp is pin sharp. And that's the most important thing, it's having control over the image. So what I'll do is I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what I'm doing. So the first thing I do is I put live view on, like I said. Then I adjust the exposure so I know that I'm having enough light in the image so that I can actually see the town. And then as I zoom in, as you can see, it's completely out of focus, So all I need to do is turn my focusing ring and then I can choose when it is sharp. So I reckon there is about as sharp as it's going to be. So then all I do is zoom out. See that it's nice and level across here. Turn live view off, put my info button on, and then I choose my settings. So I don't want it on ISO 640, so I'm going to drop that right down. I'm going to bring that down to 64. A longer exposure gives me some nice interesting features, so I'm going to go for the interesting over that. I'm going to lift my my aperture up to f11. I really like f11, it gives me enough detail. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my shutter speed to suit this. So I'm going to put that dead in the center. So I've got a 20-second exposure to try and get this. But what I'm going to do then is I'm not going to just leave it like that. Then I'm going to bracket it. So I'm going to turn my bracketing on and I'm going to do 5 frames with this. Now obviously if I press this button here, it's going to shake. So what I do is I put it just up here on timer. So now I've got it all focused in. I've got the settings all dialed in. I've checked my lens to make sure it's on manual focus and not on autofocus. And then all I do then is press this button. So the bracketing's finished, and what I've got when I put playback on is I've got a neutral, then I've got a dark exposure, so I've got the detail in the clouds. I've got a lighter exposure. This is probably going to be the one that I'll use for the town because the lights look really nice. And then I've got a really bright exposure, and then a super bright exposure, this one. Can you see there's a difference? But I've got a really nice light trail, so I might actually take multiple parts out of each one of these images and blend them together. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wait for the sun to start coming over and to start lighting up them clouds. But I'm going to get wrapped up nice and warm. The rush is over, and we've made it. And yeah, let's hope some magic happens. So it has started to light up now. What I'm going to do to make sure I catch the best of it is I'm going to take a couple of shots every couple of minutes, and I'm going to just so I know that I've definitely got the best. This is the best thing about digital, the fact that you can just keep on taking shots, keep on taking shots, keep on. Like, I've got a 64GB memory card in there, like I can take thousands of shots, but just to make sure that I get the most amount of light. If you look over behind me right now, it's incredible. And now what I'm hoping is that that's going to slowly make its way across the sky and come over to the top of the mountains. And then hope that it lights up the mountains and I get nice glow, and then, you know, perfect shot. Fingers crossed. So I've got it all set up. I've kept it on the same settings as before. I have changed my shutter speed. I've still got it on ISO 64. What I have added though is I've added a polarizer just onto the front here, and I've got it so it's set so it's giving some nice contrast in the clouds. That's what I'm going for. So I'm just going to fire off this first one, and then I'm going to keep on taking shots as the clouds change. Every single time I'm going to take 5 exposures, so I definitely get the right exposure. It is cheating, but is it? Or is it just using what we can do with our modern cameras? Who knows? All perspective, I suppose. But this is going to be an incredible morning. So excited. So I mentioned earlier on that I've got some good news, some exciting news. I am now the proud owner. I have upgraded, and I am now the proud owner of my new Nikon D810. Not new, second hand, but it is amazing. I have to say, it is absolutely amazing. Bit of an update on progress. I have been sitting here waiting for about 2 hours now, and I'm hoping that it's going to come soon. What I'm waiting for is the light to come over the side of the hills, a break in the clouds, and really light up the cat bells. At the moment, they look really flat, which is a bit of a nightmare. They look really flat. So I'm being a patient photographer, and hopefully it's all gonna work out. I'm gonna get the image. But yeah, just sitting here, chilling out, waiting patiently. And if any of you guys at home haven't checked out my page on Facebook, my photography page is called Kieran Husbands Photography, same as my channel. Definitely give it a little look. So it is finally happening. I'm getting my light on the bottom of the cat bells, and I could not be happier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to compile them images together. I'm going to make a beautiful edit, fingers crossed. I'm going to take another image of the foreground and I'm going to blend that all together. So I'm going to have the lights in the town, I'm going to have the colours in the sky, and I'm going to have the foreground all nicely lit up as well, and that's going to lead your eye beautifully in. I'm going to show you that image on screen now. I hope you like it. It's had a lot of work gone into it, I assure you. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. I'm not sure when the next one's going to be, but I know it's going to be soon. I'm going to start doing these more regularly. Sorry for finishing this quick, but my GoPro batteries are all out. I am running out big time. But thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and yeah, peace out.